my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a beautiful, blessed Saturday in the mighty name of Jesus. If you have not said it already, let's say it together. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. It is indeed a blessing. It is a blessing to be alive. Thank Him for another day. You're in the land of the living. Nobody's planning your funeral. Nobody's trying to find you anything to work in the casket. You are alive. So that means Jesus still has work for you to do on this side. So let's just be thankful. Try not to complain or worry or stress or any of that. Because God got you. He got all of us. Glory be to God. He got all of us in His hands. He got the whole world in His hands. So, yeah, just out and about today, like as always on Saturdays, the errand day. And just try to, if nothing else, just get out and do my little routine that I always do. I always try to get bathroom tissue and water and stuff like that. But sometimes I'll just Instacart it, but try to just get out, and do that. If nothing else. But me and my daughter, my youngest daughter, we were able to go. Just came out of Barnes and Noble, and y'all going in that store is so tempting. I don't think I've ever been so tempted in buying a book, but as I was looking through the books, I was telling my daughter, I'm not being mean or rude or anything like that, but some of those Bibles are overpriced, and some of those like devotionals and things like that. Like I kept looking and looking because the price is always on the back, and I finally found one that was like $19.99. But then I was looking at so many others that I was sort of interested in, but they were like $24.99, and I'm like, but this is the same devotional. You probably can get online, or you can maybe order it from Amazon for a lot cheaper. But maybe it's just the name. I don't know, really don't know. But I just noticed that it's, and I know a lot of people say, well, that's just where I buy my books at, and I get it. That's your prerogative. But at the same time, I don't like to sort of waste money and spend money. I'm not really waste, but because you can't waste it if you're buying it. It has to do with Jesus. But I'm saying I don't like to misuse my money anymore. So I try to be mindful. Now I have gone in there and spent almost $100. We're in Tennessee. I went in there quite a few times just buying books or devotionals. But like I said, I'm learning that, a lot of times you just keep, I always like to thumb through the devotionals, and I'm like, okay, I could do this myself, or and like I said, not taking away from the author or anything, because I know that's they want that book to sell. But some of those books, like I said, they're overpriced. And even the Bibles, in this day and time, those should be the Bibles should be the lowest price in there, actually. I think about that. They have Bibles in the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree that I always frequent, they got Bibles in there, and then they're I think they're like $5 or something like that. But they're they the real King James version, and it's that small print, of course, with letters in red represent what Jesus is when He's speaking. But I'm saying, it's, you can get you a Bible, from the Dollar Tree, but in that Barnes and Noble, some of those Bibles were like almost $100. One I picked up was $79.99, which it was a nice Bible, I guess. But I'm like, why is this Bible so much? I'm just trying to figure out why was it so much, and it's just a Bible. But again, man, always figuring out a way to make a dollar. And Bibles, I remember going in there some years back. Those Bibles were not that much, and I know, like I said, it's maybe the Bible got different things that it entails. I don't know, but last I checked, the Bible is the Bible. It's just the holy word, and you may have added some extra stuff to it to amp up the price. I don't know, but that should be the lowest book in that whole store, lowest price. But because there's so many people need the word, they really do. They need to read it, and not read it, but live it. But I was in Ross earlier. That was like our first stop, and there was a super nice lady. She was so nice, y'all. She had got out of line. I mean, she had a phone call or something she needed to make, or somebody had called her, or she was calling them. I don't know. But she asked me, because it was a long line. She said, "Do you mind watching my stuff?" And I said, "No, I don't mind." And she either was my age or just slightly older. And so she stepped out of line to make the call. And so she didn't stay gone long, just a few moments. And she came back and she was like, "Thank you so much, love." And I said, "You're welcome." And so she was buying a luggage thing, because she said she's getting ready to go to I forget the state they're getting ready to travel to. Somebody in her family's having a baby. She was saying they were getting ready to go to visit, so she needed a new luggage, for the airport carrier, whatever you call it. And so I said, "Yeah, that's a nice one you have there." And she said, "Yeah, I thought it was too." And so anyway, she said her old one, her mom complimented her on it, and because she was telling me that's why she had to buy her one. She said her mom complimented her on it. And I think she said her mom lives in New Mexico. I think she said New Mexico. And she said, "Okay, so you can have it." And she gave it to her mom. I said, "That was nice." And she said, "Yeah." She said, "But now I had to buy me another one." I said, "That sounds like you got a good heart." So anyway, me and her was just talking briefly while we were waiting in the line. And so when we got ready to go, of course, she was in front of me, of course. And I ended up coming right in, behind her. I mean, no, she was, she still was being checked out, but I was alongside her, because, the lanes were side by side. And so she said, "It was nice chatting with you." I said, "Same here." So we told each other, "Have a good day," and went on at the store. But I like going to that Ross because they have a better selection in there. I was actually able to find me something to wear to church tomorrow, but they just, and there was a lady in the store. She was an older lady. She said, I think she was trying to, in so many words, tell me that she had saw a dress in there. And I don't know if she was referring to today or day before, the previous day. But she was saying, "Oh, I should have got the dress when I saw it." And I've been in that predicament, y'all. You see something you like and you're like, "Well, I don't know if I should get it." And you'll go somewhere else and then you're like, "Oh, let me go back and see if they still have it." And so I guess she couldn't find it, because she was asking me where were the small dresses at. And I showed her, where they were located. And she said her husband, he gets on her about that. Said, "Why don't you just buy it when you see it?" She said, "I don't know." I told her, and let her know. I said, "I do the same thing. I do the very same exact thing." So that actually happened to me. I think the dress I was looking for I want to say, I don't think it was Mother's Day. I think it was another Sunday I was looking, and I had went to one Ross, and I should have purchased that dress, but I was like, I just really wasn't for sure. I didn't think, I thought I could find me something better. And y'all, I ended up, I want to say I think that could have been for Mother's Day. I think that was Mother's Day, because I ended up going everywhere. I went to JCPenney, and finally I found the dress, and I think it was at Burlington. That's where I found the dress that I ended up purchasing. But I went everywhere that Saturday, because I could not find a dress. Not one that I liked. And so, but yeah, I told her that I can definitely relate to what you're talking about, because that happens to me too often. So we were laughing about that. So God allowed me to meet two nice women today, and really nice. So I pray everybody's having a beautiful Saturday. Yesterday, to be honest, it did not seem like, I knew I was off. I didn't go to work, but sometimes I don't like it when we had those holidays. I'd rather work, because they just don't hold the same meaning for me like they used to. And so I just, it's good to be I enjoyed that totally. But it's not the, and then talking to a few other coworkers, they were saying the same thing, that they were just gonna rest, because a lot of them, they travel, they've already done their little summer vacay stuff. They did it back in, some people do their, their vacays or whatever, they do that like back in April and May. And so, by this time, they winding down, because they've already done all that. So yeah, it was okay yesterday. We ate, fixed a little meal, but it was just sort of, I was like, oh, did I work today? But I knew I knew I was off, but it just felt kind of different. Well, thanks, glory to God, thanks be to God that, like I say, it's good to have an off day. It really is. Thankful for that. Somebody had to work yesterday. So yeah, I made a few stops, and I'm headed to, there's a nicer Dollar Tree in this area, so I'm going to go over here and see what they have, and that's probably going to be it for today. I have to finish doing laundry when I get back to the house, and I always like to go to the Dollar Tree because get my puppies his treats. She's pretty much out of them, I think. So I was going to do that, and then yeah, just enjoying this this Saturday. It's 90 degrees here, but it's cool. I don't really feel like it's 90 degrees, but it looks like it's gonna storm. Now last night where we live, they were doing a lot of firecrackers, and our puppy was very agitated by that because he couldn't sleep. Or he was trying to find a room he could go in to hide, and what have you, but I think he finally went on to sleep around morning time, I guess, when they stopped, or a little after they stopped. But yeah, he was a little bothered by that. So we didn't pop any firecrackers, but the people around us, of course, they did. So yeah, y'all, we're not doing a whole lot today. I'm just gonna I was able to the Lord placed in my spirit. We went to some outlet stores, and there are two little boys at our church, and they're just the cutest little boys. And I always tell their mom, I said, if I could just have a little of their energy, they just so full of energy. And so she always laughed, her and the grandma. And so I was able to go in the store and find them two cute little shirts. So I hope the mom, she likes it. I'm sure she will, because she's very they've given me stuff, so I feel like she won't, some people, they don't want you buying stuff for their children or whatever, because some people like, well, trying to say we ain't got no money. But that's something I welcome. If somebody tap me on the shoulder and say, here, I bought this for you, I'll be like, thank you so much. And back in Tennessee, there was a lady, she used to always give me bags of clothes. And so, she would be giving it to my daughters mainly, and then she'll have some in there for me too. But it'd be like a big garbage bag, And so, I would always say thank you, I accept it, say thank you, whatever. But then, some of it was sort of outdated, but sometimes there'd be some good stuff in there. But I never, whatever, because she always would say, whatever you can't use, just get rid of it or give it to somebody else. And I said, yeah, of course. But then there was this lady that worked with me at Blue Cross. She had a son. So she had one son. She would always give me stuff for my youngest son. That's when he was a lot younger than he is now. And so they were around I think around about the same age. And she a lot of times the clothes would be, I'm like, what's going on here? Have a bunch of it just was very, not, some of the stuff was not clean. I'll put it like that. And there'll be like, sometimes she'll bring to work, she'll be like, I got something for you. And it would be like, some jeans for him or a t-shirt, something like that. And I would always just say, thank you and leave it at that. But I'd be like, why did I start just throwing it, throw away? Because it wasn't fit for him to wear. And some of it, to be honest, looked like it had been, in a closet somewhere or in a garage or somewhere. I don't know, because it was just how the condition of the clothing. But now I would never do that, give someone something like that, damaged clothes or dirty. But if the lady that I was initially talking about, clothes that she gave me, they were clean, and she, because she had mentioned to me one time, she said, yeah, so you act different. Because, I've tried to give other people here at church the, clothes, but they've refused them. And I said, well, some people just don't like when people give them things because they feel like you're looking down upon them, or, it could be several different reasons. And she said, yeah. And she said, I just like blessing people. And I said, yeah, that's a good way to be. So anyway, I could tell her that sort of hurt her feelings, because you're trying to do a nice gesture, and somebody's either, refusing it or, turning their nose up at it. And some people actually need stuff, but their pride won't let them accept it, because they don't want to look as though they do need it. But who cares, it's free. And then some people feel like, well, if that person give me something and I accept it, then I owe them. Some people think that way too, but that's not the case. I don't know why people even think like that. That's not the case at all. You just we blessed to be a blessing. That's what it is. All it is. You're blessed to be a blessing. So I don't know. I think a lot of times when people act like that too, what's behind it is nobody's never done anything nice for them, and they don't know how to accept kindness. I think that's primarily what it is. I don't even think it's prideful. They just don't know how to accept that. Okay, like, what are you giving me this for? Do I owe you money, back from it, or am I gonna have to come clean your house? What I gotta do to pay you back? And it's no payback. It's just thank you. So I don't know, y'all. I've ran into just a few people like that here. I could tell at first I sort of like, oh, they must be really prideful, but it's not pride. I don't believe it's pride. I think it's just they have never had anyone do anything nice for them. They've always had to do everything themselves, per se, and they like, okay, well, why you want to help me? Why you want to buy me something? So I can respect that. I can respect it, because we all are different, and we all got different. We all think differently. On different. We think differently on a lot of different things. So, we just have to respect people. That's all we got to do. Just respect how they feel, and trying to turn around, and of course the car behind me. Oh, it's too. I didn't go down far enough, y'all. I kept straight. I don't really ever come down this way, so I got turned around. I think it's the next light. So yeah, it's a lot of people out and about, but it's not. Like I said, it looks like it's gonna storm. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe not. So I'll pick y'all back up in a little while. I'm just trying to get to the store, see what they have. I feel like they'll have a lot nicer stuff at this Dollar Tree than the one I normally go to. So I'll be back, y'all.